on, family? What is going on? What's going on, family? What's going on? Tremaine, Mr. Hard Pivot, and I am back again, guys. And as usual, we're going to be talking money, mindset, and message, right? So, for those that don't know, this is your first time seeing me or joining the platform. I'm Tremaine, Mr. Hard Pivot, and I love talking financial, just literacy and education, money, mindset, and message, guys. So if you see me looking over here a little bit, let me explain this first. If you see me looking this way, because my Instagram family always says I don't stream to them live, so I have a different camera set up over here. So you see me kind of looking over here every now and then. Not going crazy, right? I'm just talking to Mr. Instagram family. What's going on, family? So yeah, guys, like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already done that, please like, share, subscribe to information. Drop comments. I hope that you find the information and stuff that I provide to you guys is valuable. If there's other things you'd like me to talk about or cover, let me know. Drop them in the comments, and I do that. Anything related to money, mindset, and financial wealth and education, I'm all about. Okay, guys. So with that being said, hey, let's move on. We're going to talk about today, as you can see from the titles, we're going to be talking about 8 income streams. 8 different income streams. So if you just have, then you already are dealing with one of these income streams, right? But typically, if you are trying to find a way to create more than one income stream outside of employment, then typically you are wanting to find financial freedom. You're looking for or time freedom, where the finances will create time freedom to do more things with the ones you love. You want to do it how you want to do it, right? So if you start searching for more than one of these income streams, then you're looking for some type of financial that creates generational wealth, right? So we're just going to cover, and I'm sure there are multiple things outside of 8, but these 8 particularly are basically the crux of what most wealthy people kind of follow, right? And then you'll see later on down the line, and I'll show a really video about how these 8 income streams are broke down into 3, right? By somebody that I love to follow and listen to his money message and mindset, right? So with that being said, let's talk about the first one. And the first one of the 8 income streams, guys, are earned income. Earned income. So we know what earned income is, right? Earned income is just when you're working your job, when you go to work, working your 9 to 5, whether you're a construction worker, whether you work at a bar, a hotel, that's your earned income, meaning that you give your time and your labor for wages. You exchange your time and your effort for money. So earned income, if you don't show up, if you don't show, you don't get done. You don't get paid. So you have to, in order to make money, you have to be physically present. You have to show up to make the money, right? So that's earned income. Pretty simple, right? Just working from a job, right? So then we have number 2. We talk about so the profit income is, guys, it's income from buying and selling. So people that go out, buy cars at the auction, may do a little something to them and sell them and just make a profit, like wholesaling almost, right? People wholesale houses. People kind of get houses under contract and essentially sell the contract to another investor to make a profit. And that's another live I'm going to be covering, because somebody actually asked about wholesaling and real estate, and we're in real estate as well. So I'll be covering selling on a live here soon, so this week or next week. But so yeah, basically buying, or people buy stuff and sell through Amazon and these other little apps now. I can't think of really a lot of the names of these apps that you could just kind of sell your stuff. You could buy things, just kind of sell them online for profit. So profit income, selling things for profit, whether you bought them or not, really, things you can be laying around the house, you can just sell them for profit. So we're talking profit income. So we're talking about earned income, working from a job, working a job, employment, and then we're talking private income, right? So the third we're going to be talking about is interest income. So far, the wealthy do well. They don't typically have a job. That's the whole thing. But yeah, interest income. So that's interest. That's income from lending money. So think about that. I want you to understand interest income. Now, remember, we talk about capitalism. I talk about capitalism a lot in this country, and capitalism is basically understanding what compound interest, right? Compound interest, and those that understand compound interest typically are ones that benefit from compound interest, and those that don't are ones that typically suffer from compound interest. So, interest income from lending money, we all know that because most Americans have one, two, three, not four or five credit cards in their pockets right now, or your purses right now, right? You know, the bag we're always talking about getting typically have a bunch of credit cards in them. So the companies are making money when you use their money that you don't have right now to get the things that you want. So they make money by saying, here, we will forward you the money to get what you want right now. However, we're going to put a little something on top of it, right? For loaning you that money. Think about it. And in most urban neighborhoods, there are those places that lend money, those, I forget what they call it, but lend a lot of money, right, for exorbitant interest rates, right, for 1 week or 2 weeks if you don't have the money to pay your bills until you get your next paycheck. So interest income is a huge thing in this country. All right. And then we're talking next, so we've covered earned income, which is income from a job, right? We talked about profit income from buying and selling. We talked about interest income, which is basically income coming from lending money. And then now we're talking about royalty income. So I know when you hear royalty income, the first thing you think about is musicians, and how they make money from all the music that they made and stuff like that, and that's true. That's royalty income. But think about nowadays, so many people can make like apps. So you're making money just using your ideas and selling to other people. So you dreamed up a great commercial for Nike or something like that, or Amazon, and you proper, patent protection, protect your idea, and you sold it to Nike or Amazon. Right now, you won't be able to use that again because you sold that idea. You created it, right, or something, from an idea that you had, and you sold it, and so that's you can make income that way, or you sell it, but not all of the rights, right? So you can just get some income, some royalties, some residuals, right? So royalty income. So now we covered earned income, working from a job, right? We talked about profit income, buying and selling things like wholesaling almost. Interest income, basically money being loaned to you, and you are paying not only the principal back, but interest on that principal, right? Dividend income is where we're going next, guys. We're going to talk about dividend income. Dividend income is income from owning stocks, bonds, and now what's becoming more prevalent, and in my opinion, going to take over at the end of the day because the value of the dollar is considerably dropping. And I think that the end game is to get rid of the dollar altogether and just kind of go crypto. So dividend income is income from owning stocks, bonds, and crypto. So stocks and bonds are something that we are accustomed to. We grew up hearing stocks and bonds, Wall Street, the bull, buying and selling the bill and all of that, right? So that's something that is just already in us because we've heard it over and over and over. You've been taught that to make money, you invest, you go through a broker or become a broker, invest your money in the stock market, et cetera, et cetera. So dividend income is getting money, is creating wealth using that strategy, right? Because these are all just different little strategies, right? So dividend income from owning stocks, bonds, and now cryptocurrency have made a lot of millionaires and a lot of billionaires. All right, so that strategy has worked out a lot for a lot of people. And then we have the more traditional things that we, kind of all go around and understood. Number 6, we have rental income. So that's basically what it sounds pretty self-explanatory, right? Rental income is from just renting your property. So if you buy a house, a single family, or if you buy a 2-family or 4-suiter building, etc., 5, 10, 15, 100 suite apartment building, you're just renting out the units individually, right? To create income, monthly, weekly income, or daily sometimes. You may bought a motel or something that charges per day. So now you're creating, daily income. So that's another strategy that people use. They buy property to rent the properties out to generate income. Now, with that, there's also called a capital gains, because you are taking assets, you're increasing them in value, and then you are selling them, right? So when you sell them, you sell the properties at a profit. And at that point, then that's when we're talking about taxes, capital gains taxes. And most wealthy people know how to maneuver and utilize the laws to their advantage to minimize those capital gains taxes, right? So if you don't understand those laws, those tax, laws, you won't get those tax advantages, and you can sell the same amount of properties and get taxed, out the wazoo if you didn't understand how tax laws work, right? Legally, to be immoral. So capital gains tax can be your best friend, or capital gains could hurt you at times if you don't understand capitalism and certain rules, right? There's a rule to this. This is a game. Unfortunately, all of it is a game. It's the money game, right? And unfortunately, you understand the rules, and again, you benefit from understanding the rules, or if you don't understand the rules, then you won't benefit. You'll be more of a victim. So understanding the rules of whatever you're doing is important, especially in the money game. Now, if you are not even trying to understand the money game, if you're not even trying to understand whether your cash flow is negative, or whether your cash flow is positive, or whether you are not taking advantage of tax laws or being taken advantage by tax laws, then you are not even on the road to wealth, even if you consider yourself being a part of some of these income streams. Like, there are some people that are profiting from multiple 1, 2, up to all 8, but they're actually leaving money on the table and losing a lot of money, right? Then they don't understand that, because they don't truly understand the game. They're just playing the game to go along, to get along. And I understand a lot of gurus and a lot of coaches and mentors would say, just get in the game, figure the rules out later. Sometimes that could be very disadvantageous, right? So it's definitely good to understand the rules of the game you're playing. And last but not least, guys, we're going to talk about residual income. So residual income is, when you continue to get paid after the work is done. And what I failed to mention is that some of these kind of cross a little bit. So like, I think royalty income, or when you sell an app or something, right? You can sell it totally off, not get paid anymore. You can sell bits and pieces, or just stock in it, or whatever the case may be, and still get royalty and still get paid. So in essence, you'll still be getting residual income, right? You'll still be generating residual income. So residual income is when you continue to get paid after the work is done. And number 8 to me is where I think most wealthy people aspire to be to where they can create residual income, meaning they're getting paid after the work is done. So say you set up a business, you set up a business, and you go in there, you with your hands ground up, you get the staff, you get the process, you get the structure, the product, everything is now up and running, and it's good, and everybody that you hire understand how to work, operate everything just like as if you were there, right? So now you can step away, maybe to start another one, to start your second business, right, of the same genre, or whatever the case may be. But my point is, that's residual income, because now you have created something that generates money whether you are there or not, right? So some people think, yes, I am a sole proprietor and I'm a business owner, when they're in the midst of creating that business I just referred to. Yes, you are. You are a sole proprietor, you're owner. You have to show up to work to get that thing built. You have to show up to work to get that thing structured, right? That's true. But you become truly on the path to wealth when you can, when you've created it, then you can step aside, and then it can start making money whether you are there or not. That is true residual incomes, right? Now, and I'll just throw the apartment buildings in the houses. Remember, I told you some of these things cross. So yes, and have a bunch of properties. You get them set up. You had to buy them. You had to get the people in. You structured your property management. You structured your maintenance. You did go and structure all that. So a lot of times you may have been the maintenance man, right, and the property manager, right, and the custodian, and all that in one. But once you got everything you wanted to, you were able to then, go on vacation, hang with your children, take them to their soccer and tennis matches, right? And the property and everything was still running. That's residual income. So that's when you go from being a business owner to an investor, right? That's different. We're not an employee where we have to show up to make this money or we don't get this money, right? Business owner, we kind of got to still show up until we get things structured and set up. Then once those things start making money on their own, without you being there, then you are now an investor. And along with that comes so many advantages, right? And I mean, from being put in a tax bracket to where you can pay almost no taxes, low to no taxes. Like an investor pays anywhere from like 15% to zero, really, depending on their understanding of the strategies, or not so much as their understanding of the strategies, the people that they put in place to understand these things for them. Because most wealthy people aren't going to do all of this stuff on their own. They are going to hire specialists and experts to do the things that they either don't want to do or don't have the time to do, right? So they're going to hire experts, guys. So with these things, I wanted to show for my audience here. Sorry, Instagram. You know what? I'll tell you what, I may even just move the phone. Let me see this video. I did want to show a quick video from, hey, listen, one of my people I love to go to, and just listen to and read his book. And most of you have this, especially if you're looking at this video, definitely have heard of Robert Kiyosaki, right? So he talked about the very things that I'm talking about, but he broke down streams even further. He broke income streams down to 3 categories, right? And I thought that was key, because as you know, I always talk about how to attach a home-based business to your name or your businesses or your job, your income. Run your, if you just have a job, run your job's income through a home-based business, right? Because that's a strategy that they all use. All wealthy people on the road to wealth, during and just after accruing wealth, use this strategy. They just can use it more, right? Attaching home-based business. That doesn't mean they are working for them, because most wealthy people don't have a job. No, they attach the strategy home-based business, like ours, for example, one that offers 475 different tax deductions. Those are the type of home-based businesses they attach to their businesses and their names and things of that nature, guys. So I want to show this quick video because it kind of supports when I talk about the home-based business. And let me throw a quick fact out there really quick. It's Forbes. It says 79 million people are going to open a home-based business within the next 5 years. This is according to Forbes, right? Who keeps track of all the wealthy people, what they're doing, how they got their wealth, their mindset, their mind states. They said within the next 5 years, 79 million people are going to start a home-based business, guys. Because you have to understand the ebb and flow of history, right? How we went from the Industrial Revolution to the dot-com revolution to all these different eras. This is the home-based business era. So it's time, you really need to be getting in front of this thing as opposed to wait until all 79 million people get a home-based business, right? It's time to get out in front of this thing because there's so much money, not only to be made in working a home-based business. These certain home-based businesses have certain advantages. Like ours is a 475 million. I'm sorry, 475 different tax deductions attached to your name, to where you can write off a lot of stuff that you're going to do anyway, just down the line. So I'm going to show this quick video, guys, but just understand this. Why do people attach home-based businesses, work home-based businesses, right? Why do they add these businesses to their portfolio? Because wealthy people understand assets, right? Poor people tend to deal and think in liabilities, right? So I'm gonna let Robert break this down. Only about 3 or 4 minutes, guys. Check this video out with me. I want you to check this out as he breaks down. He breaks it down even further than the 8 income streams that I just talked about. He breaks it down into three categories that I thought was really, really cool. So I just wanted to, it's not that you heard my 8, I want you to see how he breaks it down into 3 income streams, guys. All right. Give me a second. Let me get this played. And Instagram, I got you. No worry. Let me get this going at you. Okay. All right. Talking to Instagram family over there, guys. All right. So let's get you going here. And we are going to be golden. Here we go, guys.
The other don't understand the number one expense for most people is taxes. And yet we don't even see it. Isn't that weird? You walk around and you look at the check and say, that doesn't seem right. And you don't realize that the government's got a huge hand in your pocket and you are doing nothing to minimize that. Again, this is what's very different about the rich and the poor.
Well, the reason the rich money is number one expense is tax. See, there's 3 kinds of income: earned, portfolio, passive. So earned income is if I get a job, that's earned income. If I'm a doctor or a programmer, that's earned income, working for it. If I buy, let's say, Apple for $10 and I sell it for 20, that's portfolio income, capital gains.
Yeah.
But passive income, which is cash flow, is never taxed. So it's not, and so these guys scream out in America, tax the rich. I said, good luck. Because most of the guys complaining, they don't know there's 3 kinds of income. And the rich don't have jobs anyway, assets. And so the average schmo out there, poor guy, sent the kid to school, they don't learn this. So that's why in Fake, talking about it, there's a newspaper article about Jared Kushner, and he explains how the Trumps and the Kushners don't pay taxes and make millions of dollars. And the reporter couldn't understand him because our schools will never teach you that 3 types of income.
And they judged him and say they're wrong and it's cheating. And we see that over and over again. Amazon not paying taxes. What do you say to people when they come up and say, Robert, it's not fair. It's not fair they're not paying taxes?
Well, there's always 3 sides to a coin, heads, tails, and the edge. So which side of the coin are you on? From my side, it's fair. But this is the difference. Everybody can do the same thing I do because the tax laws are for everybody. We don't say, well, the tax laws are only for the rich. No, the tax laws are for everybody to use if you have the right financial education. And there is an advocate of financial education. Without education, you have to pay taxes. You see, very few people buy what I do and dollars and zero tax. That takes, and my rich dad taught me that playing Monopoly. That's how it started. 4 girls, 1 red hotel. Or the McDonald's formula. I write about it here. McDonald's, Ray Kroc. McDonald's is in the real estate business. So they sell hamburgers, but they buy real estate, so they pay no taxes. They pay 16 tax they pay on that 16 billion. Zero.
That's all one can do it.
Everybody
but most people lack the education. Jared learned about money when he was a kid by watching his father, by watching these people invest in real estate, and said, wow, not only do you get to make the money, you get to keep the money. That's a big problem a lot of people understand. Look how much money I made, but how much did you keep? Because
What tax did you pay?
Right, what tax did you pay? And so you always say, this is the law. The law is true for every citizen. You can do it, but most people just don't do it. Sometimes, like you said, they don't have education, because you need to have a plan if you're going to go risky things.
Well, it's not risky. I mean, to me, what's risky is having a job and paying taxes.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Taxes are incentives. The reason I get taxed by real estate is because I provide housing. I get tax breaks for providing jobs. I get tax breaks for providing oil. And I get tax breaks for providing food. But most people see me as a crook. I'm not. The U.S. government wants me to provide housing, wants me to provide jobs, wants me to borrow money because that money is created through debt, and provide oil and food. I get huge tax breaks. Everybody can do the same thing if they had the financial education to do it. If people understood the tax code, we'd be more prosperous.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Right? Because more people would be
correct
and creating things that would help the economy, starting jobs, creating jobs, starting companies.
We got starvation all over the world. Just provide food. Provide food, the government gets tax breaks for that.
Okay, guys. Now, did you see that? That's Mr. Robert Kiyosaki himself. Nothing. He didn't say anything. Let me put Instagram back together, guys. 1 second. He didn't say one thing, guys, that was Illuminati-esque, right? He didn't say one thing that was like it was some big secret in some ancient scrolls or anything like that. He said basic stuff that, first of all, you just understood the tax laws. Tax laws. Did you see how many times they talked about taxes? Understood the tax laws. You could be so much better off, so much wealthier. But as an employee in this country, we get taught that you learn to get a job. You learn, you get a job, you work. If you need more money, get another job, and you pay taxes. And I'm not saying don't pay taxes. The act of having to file taxes is something that you must do in this country, right? Legally, right? Whether you do it or not is totally up to you. But the act of filing taxes is a must. Two certain things in this world that you've heard it all before, right? Things they always talk about. Taxes and death are for certain, right? Those two things, that's a known, right? Whether passing on. Those two things are for certain. So to file is a must. It's something that you must do in this country. But how much you pay is totally up to you. That's not, a lawful thing that you have to pay a third of your taxes that you work for all year to the government all the time. You don't understand these things, right? If you don't know these things, or if you're not willing to take the time to learn these things, then you will always be a victim of overpaying in tax to in turn stay stuck in the position of just getting the tax return. That same cycle. And most of the time, those tax returns are saving people at that time of the year. How do you go year in, year in, getting that tax return to save you every year? Why aren't you doing something different, right? So the key is taking more money, the money that's being robbed from you, the money that's being took from you, the overpaying of the government on IRS.gov themselves. They're saying if you're getting a tax return, then you're overpaying. You need to do a W-4 checkup. You need to do a paycheck checkup because your W-4 is written wrong, apparently, right? Most of us, over 90% of Americans, they say, have filed a W-4, filled out a W-4 incorrectly. And once they fill it out the one time, they never, ever, ever go back and check it out again and update it. I mean, things happen. You get married, you get divorced, you have a child, you have 2 children, you have 4 children, right? Things change. Those things should change on your W-4. as they change in your life, right? Because the government does incentivize us with certain tax breaks with certain things happening in your life. But we forget that because we just want to get a big refund of money at the end of the year. Basically, where you've loaned the money out and allowed the government to make an excess of money by loaning your money out to just give you pennies back. And you heard he said, the Bezos of the world, he make $1 million and then don't pay taxes on $1 million. Not because he's doing nothing wrong, illegal. He's doing everything, I hope, legally, ethically, and morally, and just abiding by the tax law. Same laws, the same codes that you can all benefit from, period. Right? So in order to get to these 8 income streams, you have to learn this stuff to bring the money back into your house that's being robbed from, especially through taxes, because taxes are going to be your number one expense in this country. So whenever you hear wealthy people talk about their wealth, they're going to either preface it or in the conversation about wealth, and in the middle is going to be taxes, how to minimize their taxes. That's going to be the basics of how they generate the wealth, right? That basis, taxes. So you're going to hear taxes a lot. So understanding the tax laws, understanding the tax codes, or not so much you have an understanding, at least having people or experts that do understand these things so that they can do what they have to do for you to minimize your taxes legally, ethically, and morally. And what that does, guys, is it helps increase cash flow. It helps stop those that are robbing you blind. And that's just taxes. We're just taxes right now. Not talking about the other challenges that most Americans face. We're just talking about taxes. But taxes are going to be the biggest and most expensive expense until you get them under control. So you have to bring those things, you have to bring this money back into your household, guys. But this money can do one of a few things. Sorry about that. So this money can do one of a few things, guys. So that this money can either pay off debt, right? Pay off debt that you already owe, or that this money can come back into your house so that you can now invest the money. So you can become an investor. So that you can now invest the money and allow your money to make money for you. There is no road to wealth without understanding that money is the tool and money is meant to make more money, because money is not sleeping. Money is not needing a paycheck, time off. Money is not needing maternity or maternity leaves. Money is there to do what it's supposed to do. And the wealthy understand this, and the rules that govern that whole structure are the rules that we need to learn so that we can put experts in place so that you can get on the financial road to free. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. There is no road to wealth understanding the rules of capitalism. This is the country we're in, right? And we're governed by capitalism. So, like I said, the employee, you're getting paid the highest, you pay the highest taxes in the country. Employees, and 78% of employees are living paycheck to paycheck right now. 78% of employees, or more now, it may be even more now. That was a couple of years ago. Paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck. 78% of our Americans in this country, one of the wealthiest countries on the planet. One of the wealthiest, excuse me, guys. One of the wealthiest countries on the planet. 78%, over 70% of our Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. That has to, but it has to start here, and it has to start with action. It's one thing to pray, but you got to be able to play. You got to be able to put forth some effort in what you want, guys. You have to, all right? So, like I said, we're taking this money, bringing it back into our household so that we can pay off bills. You get the zero debt. If you had zero debt, think about this. If you had zero debt with the money that you're making right now, but you had zero debt because you shifted money away from those taking it from you, you shifted back into your household and you shift it towards debt, right? How much more can you do with your money right now? Because the money you're making, you can then invest. And I hope you understand not to go out and use this money that we've shifted away from those that are robbed to go out and buy more liabilities. Now, this country also has impression so much, impression people so much that the moment they get some money, they go out and buy a liability. The bag, that's a statement now. Go get the bag. So many people spend $100 for the bag, and then the bag gets lost, and they have to try to run out and find another $100. No, it's okay to get the bag because you see wealthy people have a bag and you want one like this. Guess what? Most of them have allowed their assets to buy that. They have to go and spend 5 days at work to buy them. They allowed their assets. And guys, each one of us can do the exact same thing. There's nothing stopping anybody within the sound of my voice that is watching me right now from doing the exact same thing, except one thing, and that's in between the ears: a decision to do something different, a decision to be more disciplined, a decision to not try to be like the Joneses, right? At least not in just pretend, because that's what most poor people do. Most poor people will walk by a bunch of liabilities and pretend to be somebody else, to look like those that actually have assets. It's crazy. And they're buying the things that they're pretending with from those who actually have the assets, to look like those that have the assets. It's a crazy cycle, guys. But we talk about these cycles. We talk about the cycle of poverty. We talk about the taxes, and the taxes change all mess with what we call it. We talk about inflation, the silent income. We talk about these things. We talk about a lot of things, even especially on social media. We put a lot of pictures and images about a lot of things. But one of the things we won't take seriously is our finances. We continue to allow taxes, the government, we overpay them. We continue to want a refund check, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever the case may be, loan somebody our money all year. They took the money, a third of our paychecks off the top, right? And to get a small portion of it back with no interest. Can you go to any bank, any paycheck facility on any corner, anywhere, and go and get money and say, let me borrow it. Let me have this money for 4 months, and I will bring it back to you. And I'll just bring it back to you. No interest, no anything. No, you cannot do that. You can't go to your own bank. You cannot go to your own credit union and do that. And yet we allow this to be done to us every year, day in, day out, to buy liabilities, things that will not perform, things that would not bring return investments. We are stuck on, and I don't even want to say, but we're stuck on it sometimes. And that has to stop, guys. You have to understand these rules to allow yourself a fair chance at any type of wealth. And our first defense mechanism is everybody doesn't want to be rich. Everybody doesn't want to be wealthy. Most people want to be comfortable. Most people don't want to not be able to afford the things that they want to buy for their children. Most people don't want to be at work, son. And then in the same breath, they say, I don't need, I'm working, I'm fine. No, that's not the truth, because you wouldn't or behave or say the things you say when you don't have the money to do what you want to do, when you want to do it with the people you love and how you want to do it with them. That's the bottom line. So these 8 income streams, guys, we're stuck on one. We're stuck on employment because that's what we get taught. That's what we get drilled in us. And there's nothing wrong with employment, nothing wrong with a job. Don't get me wrong. You got to take care of your business. But just remember, employment is just supposed to take, your investment is supposed to take care of your lifestyle. Your employment right now is supposed to take care of your business and be a stepping stone to your investments, hold you down until you get to where you want to be with what you're trying to do. Nothing wrong with employment. Everybody got to pay the bills, right? We got to run the country. People do certain things. All for that. But if you want more, if you want to step outside of it, one though, the employment part of this, to get into these other parts of this income stream, then you have to think, and not just think, you have to do different. Especially for my sole proprietors, ones that own their own business. If they don't work, they don't get paid. You're basically still an employee, your own worst employee. But refuse to learn tax laws. You refuse to learn the things that will help you generate wealth. And they're just strategies. So when I speak of home-based business, I don't mean create a home, our particular home-based business. It's a 5 home-based business. Not so much to work the home-based business, not so much to even try to generate income through it, from it, but you can. But I mean to use the strategies that it comes with, that will increase your cash flow, that will increase your wealth, the money that you already have. I'm just talking about the money you already have. So you can do more with the money that you already have. That's what I'm talking about. That will put you on the road to the 8 income streams, guys. Okay? That will put you on to the 8 income streams. Okay, I'm hoping I'm still live. I see some connection problems. Okay, I think we're good. But so yeah, guys, listen here. You know, I like the money mindset and message. So, and I apologize if I get a little passionate, but I am passionate about this subject. I am passionate about the information. I'm passionate about those that want more, to do more, those that want to do better. I'm passionate about that. So that being said, we talked about our 8 income streams. Just the question, guys, and I'm still asking the question: are you working towards it? Right? And if you don't know how, that's fine. That's why I get with people. That's why I have 2 mentors, right? 3 now, 3 mentors, because there are things that I don't know, and there's that I want to know. There are things that I can't do right now that I want to do. So I have to position myself mentally and physically, and I have to be available to learn. I have to be willing to do something different. I have to be willing to step outside my comfort zone, and I have done that several times to succeed, to get more, to do better, right? For my family, for my wife, for my twins. You have to do that, guys. You can't get up every day, do the same thing all week that you did all last year. You did your resolutions, right? You said, this year I want to get into more 1 income stream. I want 8 income streams, because most wealthy people have at least 7, right? But yet you have done nothing different this year. You still have just positioned yourself to continuously go to parties. You still are hanging with the same people you hung with 10 years ago. You still are you know, working all week, and then as soon as the weekend comes, only thing you focus on is the weekend. You are not listening to podcasts. You have not invested in yourself. You have not paid for a coach. You have not paid for any training. You have not even went to or tried to even go to free training. I mean, there's all kind of free stuff that most of us won't even take advantage of. So you cannot be on the road to those 8 income streams, guys. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I held you guys long enough. I definitely hope that there was value in this live stream. And again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'm Tremaine, Mr. Hard Pivot. I'm pretty much on all platforms at the same handle. It's either Mr. Hard Pivot, at Hard Pivot, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google. I mean, Google too, guys. That's right. YouTube, Facebook, of course, at Mr. Hard Pivot. So, guys, listen here. Before I go, if there is anybody, any one of you that understands that, you know, sometimes getting rich and getting wealthy is not an overnight thing, right? But for those that want to join a community that are going in the same direction, a community of coaches, right? A community of leaders, all going in the same direction, where we have experts that will do the things that you need for you. Our experts will do it. Credit is low. If you have a lot of debt, if you have a bunch of bills that you wish you could, you know, not pay so much, right? And shred. If you need to understand how your taxes need to be minimized, how do you get your tax right? Legally, ethically, and morally. And again, let me repeat that. Let me remix that for you guys, right? Legally, ethically, and morally. Our experts, our program is the program for you. And I'm not, you know, I know people talking about cost and investment. When it's about you and bettering yourself for your family and for your life, those are called investments, right? Those are called investments. Those are not called costs. Those are not called bills. See, you got to get your mindset right, guys. You go out, we spend money, $200-$300. We spend $100-$200 on a pair of shoes, $200 purse. But the moment you invest in yourself to help better your next generation, we start talking about, oh, that's a bill. So, you know, you have to understand, you have to think differently, to do differently, to get differently. All right, guys. So yeah, again, if you want to at least see what we have to kind of help get your cash flow up, get your taxes up, get your debt down, get your expenses down, get your cash flow up, get your credit score up, right? Get your income up, those type of things. That's what we can do. That's what our experts want to do. It's nothing you have to do for yourself. There's no information. Our experts are going to work, and they'll make it happen for you, right? They will make it happen for you. We just came from a 3-day corporate event this week, and we just added some new services to the to this whole what we call a financial makeover. And yeah, it just got even better. So not only do we do tax minimization and put you in position to keep more of the money that's being took from you, we now added to where our tax experts they are now doing tax. IRS enrolled agents that work with us, that are experts. And doing the tax, the Schedule C's, business tax. That's what law. A lot of people have the businesses, but they file taxes the same way. No, that's when you're gonna get in trouble. You let the experts. We're gonna add that now. That just got added, so I don't know how it's formulated and all that type of stuff right now. Next week, you know, it'll all be up and running and all structured. But in the meantime, today, text 216-285-0569. Text streams to 216-285-0569. Let me see some information about the program. And even if the program is not for you, that's fine. You may know somebody who could actually benefit from this program, which statistically, it's saying 200 million Americans are in this position that need this type of program. All right, guys. So with that being said, don't forget to, like I said, to hit the like button, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And I don't know what we'll be talking about next, but I will make sure that it has everything to do with money, mindset, and message. And for those that do know me, know that I always end by saying, I don't know you. I believe in you. So why don't you